In this video, I'm going to discuss how I went about writing 5 books in the space of 8 months. So if you're interested in becoming a self-published author, then you may be interested in my channel. My name is Marji Hill from the Fast Self-Publishing online community, and I make videos about getting your book written within 30 days, publishing it yourself without breaking the bank, and getting it into the marketplace within 24 hours, even if you've never done it before. Now, if that is interesting to you, hit the bell and subscribe button below and be notified every time I create a new video. If you'd like to know how I went about writing a series of 5 books in the space of 8 months, then listen in. And let me tell you how I went about doing this. Well, in my career as an author, I've explored themes to do with Australian history, which involves black-white relations, reconciliation, Eureka, and gold. Not only have I written about these themes, but a lot of these themes have been incorporated and been very central to my own artwork. I wanted to publish a series. When I used to write for commercial publishers like Macmillan Education and Heinemann, I used to create a series of books. So I am used to creating series, and series, I think, probably are very much part of my psyche. Now, I brainstormed the possible content of this series with a friend who's been in the book industry for many years, and we spent an afternoon nutting out ideas. And then once I came up with the ideas, I then had to decide whether these ideas were suitable and viable for a series of books. So my series, that's called Gold, Hidden Stories of Australia's Past, was the outcome. The next thing that I did was to come up with a set of titles and subtitles for each of these 5 books. And the titles I came up with are Gates of Gold, The Discovery of Gold, Its Legacy and Its Contribution to Australian Identity. Then for book 2, there's The Shadows of Gold, which is about Eureka and the birth of Australian democracy. Book 3 is Gold and the Chinese, Racism, Riots and Protest on the Australian Goldfields. The 4th book is Ghosts of Gold, The Life and Times of Jupiter Mosman. And the 5th book is Blood Gold, Native Police, Bushrangers and Lawlessness on the Australian Goldfields. Now, once I created the titles and the subtitles, I outlined the chapter headings and did a rough outline of the content for each book. My goal was to have these books published by September 2022. Each book was to be about 10,000 to 12,000 words in length and would include some of my artwork and a series of graphics which I would create myself. Once all this planning had been done, I commenced the writing. The first draft for each book was very, very rough, and the process involved doing the research as well, although a lot of the research for these books had already been done. But I had to document the sources, and I got a lot of raw content written. When I got the content pretty much worked out, I seriously got into the writing. I did a number of drafts for each of the standalone books, usually 4 or 5 drafts, during which time I refined the writing. Basically, my goal was to complete a book each month. Surprisingly, I actually stayed on track and produced a manuscript ready for publication each month. I worked on the manuscripts every morning, 7 days a week. I only took the occasional break here and there, and each writing session was 3 hours, and I did that each day before breakfast. It is simply amazing how if you consistently do a quota of writing each day, how you can move forward exponentially. My daily word goal was approximately 1,500 words. So that meant if I stayed on track with that, I was able to create a draft of 10,000 to 12,000 words, a manuscript of that size in approximately 7 to 10 days. By maintaining a strict schedule, I then had time each month for the rewriting and the reworking of manuscripts. By the time each manuscript was finalised and ready for publishing, the manuscripts had undergone several drafts. Not only did I refine the writing, but I had to create graphics and illustrate the books. The illustrations consisted either of my own paintings that I'd made in the past, or else I created new works of art, specially designed for this series of books. Yes, I did it. In a period of 8 months, I'm happy to say that I created the manuscripts for a series of 5 books on the theme Gold, Hidden Stories of Australia's Past.